Hey everyone, it's Josie, and today I want to talk about cannabis. Specifically choosing cannabis. So here's the thing. I wanted to make this video because I feel like since legalization happened in our state, a lot of people for some odd reason have been coming up to me, like friends and family, so here we go. I wanted to make a video instead about I don't even know what to call this, my steps for finding cannabis right for you. I don't know. This is actually how I did this. I'm very into research, and because I'm into research, I choose anything that is cannabis related a very specific way. Some may say it's very scientific, which it kind of is, but I do that for a reason. If you see my last video, this is kind of a part 2 to my getting my medical card, sharing on here what it has been like with different symptoms that I used to have and things that I don't deal with anymore or are a lot better now, since making sure I have this like schedule going on with cannabis and buying the right products for myself. You know, what are some things and how do I choose if I want to medically use cannabis? Alright, because sometimes people who want to use cannabis medicinally, they don't always want that like head high that people might experience. Sometimes it might be a body high, other times it might just be I want the pain to not be there and I still want to be like fully aware of my surroundings around me. That's why I'm kind of making this video here. Before I got my medical card, I was doing tons of research, and my research was pretty much this. It is what I am presenting to you guys in these steps. Before I go to the dispensary, I look up all of their options and I go through everything. And I go through everything for a reason. By the time I get there, I have a little sticky note or something, or I pre-order, and that way I can just show up there and get the stuff that I want or need, and I'm not just like standing there going, I don't know the purpose of some of these items and these strains. Here are my top 3 reasons on figuring out what sort of cannabis you need. Number 1, what is your why? What I did, and this is something that I suggest to other people, is finding out what your why is for actually wanting to consume cannabis products. And make up a list of like 3 to 5 items for that. The only thing is, I suggest, personally, you keep anxiety and depression on like a lower end of the spectrum and instead move physical symptoms up towards the top of that list. The reason being is due to recent studies showing that physical inflammation, something like arthritis or Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, something like muscle spasms, and all that kind of stuff can cause an excess of inflammation, which can result in breaking the blood-brain barrier. Once that breaks the blood-brain barrier, you then are messing around with some neurotransmitters, and it can worsen your anxiety and depression that are already there. That is any inflammation in your body. Is it something like your appetite or fatigue? Is it insomnia, inflammation, migraines, nerve pain? What is your why? So my top 3 are actually muscle spasms, migraines, and inflammation. I know that my physical symptoms typically make my depression worse. That's why I suggest it that way. Once you have that, you can move on to the next step, which is researching the different cannabinoid chemicals. Also, if you're really into the science of like understanding cannabis, I found this at, I think it was Barnes & Noble, but it's called Cannabis is Medicine. It breaks down everything. People think that CBD is the thing that people just sell around, you know, legally, and then when you step into dispensary, the only thing you see is THC, which is not true. They all have a different purpose, but some of them overlap. Other ones you might find that like, oh hey, I might want this one more than that one. There are, I think, 8 or 9 different cannabinoids. And the third step is researching strains. So this is the important part here. You need to figure out which strains are going to actually help you, because not every cannabis strain is going to help you. You're going to find stuff that might give you weird side effects. You might find something that'll worsen symptoms, or you're going to find something that might worsen mental symptoms, which I actually have experience with, and I'm going to make a different video about that. we're not talking about that today. But you got to get an idea of what strains you can look for whenever you start going to dispensary. One of my favorite places to look online is on Leafly. The reason being is because they do break down everything. They have side effects, they have the effects that you can expect. They also have a stevia, indica, or hybrid, so they have that already kind of set up for you. But the reason why this step is important is because if I go into a dispensary and just choose one, then come home and have something, then if I did not look it up ahead of time, it could have been causing headaches in people as a side effect. So it might cause headaches in me, which if I'm trying to treat my migraines, I'm trying to treat muscle spasms and headaches, I'm just going to create the problem, is what I'm going to end up doing. I think the last thing that I really do want to point out with this is there are not only THC strains. There are strains that are high in CBD. There are strains that are almost only CBD with a little bit of THC. There are strains that are 1-to-1. I personally like CBD dominant strains, and then if I can't find CBD dominant strains with where I'm going, I will go with THC dominant, but they have to be very specific. They have to be for inflammation, they have to be for muscle spasms. Essentially, that can make it all kind of just seem like I have the same thing almost. So yeah, there's the video for today. Hopefully this has helped anyone. Have a good day, have a good week, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.